TIFU by attempting to suppress a laugh while I was on stage. Obligatory not today. This actually happened a few years ago. But I was a caveman. Not on Reddit. At the time, I was a member of my high school band. We were average. And I would describe myself as above average but not phenomenal. During rehearsal, our band director would often make sections of the band play individually to work on certain tricky parts of the music. You know, because no one actually practiced. But every time someone made a mistake, or just sounded really awful, someone would start to laugh quietly. But most of us in the band knew each other well. And when one of your friends starts losing it across an otherwise quiet room, you do too. This would often result in laugh chain reactions that were some of the funniest moments in band. This happened so often that I'm sure our band director tuned it out. Pun intended. And laughing at mistakes became part of the culture. Each year, our school district would host a concert, where all of the schools, a few elementary, one middle, and the high school, would play a few songs. This was a big deal. A lot of our funding came from showing off to the district administration and school board. And it was important to put on a good show for them, to ensure the flow of kids on and off stage would be seamless. Someone had the bright idea of having the next performing group already on stage behind the current performing group. This would ensure a more timely transition to the next group. However, this had the byproduct of making the next performing group entirely visible to the audience. So up go the middle school strings. We are next to go, and thus are situated behind the strings. Our job is to sit quietly and not draw any attention while they are performing. They begin to play Viva La Vida by Coldplay. And oh my God. To this day, I don't know if it was the heat in the auditorium that threw the tuning off, or the fact that they weren't turned to begin with, or they're just 13-year-olds with school violins. But it was some of the most ear-piercing sounds I've ever heard. On the high notes, the violins screeched, were not coherent, and the harmonies were almost non-existent. It was as if someone had replaced the students with bears and gave them a string band. It was truly, indescribably horrid. I stared straight in front of me, into my sheet music, mustering every ounce of willpower to not make a single sound. Everyone in the band was doing the same. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see several others ducking into their music stands, doing everything they could to avoid being seen by the audience. I was in maximum suppression mode. I knew that if I made eye contact with anyone it would be over. It was like D-Day, with brave men falling all around me, as one by one I saw people diving into their stands, giving way to the unstoppable urge to laugh at the horrendous sounds coming from right next to us. Structural integrity was failing. Captain. It felt like holding in a sneeze for 3 entire minutes. And I felt like my diaphragm was about to implode. Tears streamed from my eyes. I then let out a snort that triggered everyone in my general area. It set off a renewed wave of unsuccessfully suppressed laughing. It was unavoidable. I failed my comrades. To this day, it is the most painful laugh I've ever experienced. We all know it as the Viva La Vida incident. TLDR. I was on stage during a really bad school concert and did everything in my power to not let the audience see I was laughing. The storytelling, suspense and your determination really did it for me. Truly, long live life. Man-suppressed laughter with like-minded people is by far the most rewarding and memorable. This was such a joy to read.
Wonderful.
Oof. I've done similar in college. My group spent like the first 2 minutes of our presentation laughing. It was brutal, haha. Still ended up doing a good job afterwards at least. The times you spoke of in rehearsal are some of the most enjoyable moments for both students in Band directors. When it's not just the grind of fixing mistakes, but the lighthearted nature of what makes us human shining through. That said, you gotta hold it together during a performance. Winking face.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.